Hello everyone, my name is Lowko, and today it is time for a professional match of StarCraft 2, and what I've got for you is a top-level game of Zerg versus Terran, and we find ourselves on King's Cove. Spawning here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map and playing with the red Zerg drones. From Finland, we have the reigning world champion of StarCraft 2. Of course, that means we're looking inside of the main base of Serral. And his opponent with the blue Terran SCVs, in my opinion, the most dominant StarCraft 2 player of all time. He's known as the Machine. From South Korea, we have INnoVation. Alrighty. Now, you know what? Since this game seems to start off pretty standard, I don't see any SCVs moving across the map. Looks like it's going to be a hatchery first here. I think we're going to have a short little discussion on a thing that's been on my mind over the last couple of days. Is Serral considered to be the greatest of all time in StarCraft 2 right now? In case you missed it, I'm gonna spoil the GSL vs. the World results, but yesterday, Serral ended up winning the GSL vs. the World for the second year in a row. The man is on absolute fire. The thing is though, I mean, yes, he's definitely the strongest player in the world right now, and yes, he's certainly the current world champion of StarCraft 2. He's been dominating for about a year and a half or so, and I don't really know if that's long enough to be considered the greatest of all time. I think the second player on my list of players that I think could be considered to be the GOAT is INnoVation himself. I mean, INnoVation, I don't think there was really any time where he was considered to be the best, but he's pretty much always been a top 5, top 10 level player, really since like the beginning of the game. And that's what he's got going for himself, right? He's been dominating since pretty much the very beginning of Wings of Liberty, and he's won premier events left and right basically every single year of his career, with the exception, if I'm not mistaken, of 2018. In 2019, he ended up winning the WESG for like $150,000 first place prize. And while I don't think he's currently considered to be like, you know, top 3 even, he's still, well, I mean, statistically speaking, right now he's ranked 7 on a legal leg at the very least. But he's always been so very good, and I think he might very well be considered to be the greatest of all time as well. Now, I could go on and on about this for like 10 minutes, and we could probably talk about each individual player for a little while, but I've made a bit of a list, okay? And the list of names is as follows. I've got Serral, INnoVation, Maru, MVP, Dark, TY, MC, Sue, and SOS. I think those are the players that could be considered to be the greatest of all time in StarCraft 2. I mean, maybe we could put Life on there, but we're not going to talk about that, right? I mean, Life has been disqualified from the sport. He's certainly not going to be at that rank anymore. Who do you think? Let me know down below in the comment section. Who do you think is the greatest of all time in SC2? Is he going to get it? Ooh, no. I think it might very well be Serral. I mean, if it is not Serral, just because he's not been dominating for long enough, I think once he wins BlizzCon in 2019, and I mean at this point it looks like he will be, because he's looking so ridiculously good. Obviously BlizzCon is still a couple of months away. That's going to be, I think, early November. But if he ends up winning BlizzCon in 2019, right? I think at that point we can all safely consider him to be the greatest of all time. That's what SOS obviously has going for him. I mean, SOS definitely not considered to be the best right now, but he won BlizzCon twice. He was a world champion of StarCraft 2 twice. And obviously the skill level at the time was much lower, so, ah man, it's a really interesting discussion. I wonder if people already would consider, you know, Serral to be the greatest of all time right now. It's gonna be either Serral or INnoVation for me, I think. Anyways, a couple of Zerglings make their way across the map. A little bit of a nuisance, because the Reaper is actually on the other side. That does mean that the links are going to be a little bit annoying here, but Hellions spawn in time, and mostly it's just going to be a little bit of lost mining time. One worker there was killed in total, but certainly nothing ridiculous. The Zerglings right here hiding over at the third base do get found as well, and it looks like INnoVation is going to be able to start off this game pretty standard. 2 Marines right here gunning down the Overlord, but that Overlord already gave Serral the information that he was looking for. It's going to be that 1-1-1 opener right here from Inno. So 1 barracks, 1 factory, and then 1 starport. And most importantly right here for Serral as well, you also saw all of the add-ons here that are available. So it's going to be 1 reactor and 1 tech lab. Now this is super standard. It is indeed going to be the Stimpak upgrade. Even though INnoVation has been going for quite a lot of mech lately, he does still like playing that bio style. And apparently, well, judging by the fact that he's going for Stimpak in this game, he is going to go for that biological-based army. 4.5 or so minutes into the game is usually when we see the third base going up, and there we go. Third command center safely acquired inside of the main base. He can fly that over towards the third base location here in just a little bit. That mostly comes down here to the early game damage that INnoVation can deal, right? So far, he's really not done a whole lot just yet. If you let Serral do whatever, this creep spread is going to get out of hand really quickly. The tumor right there stays alive as well with the Hellions. Oh, they were looking to get a beautiful connection. Not going to happen just yet, but there's still quite a few of them left over. Nice catch there by Serral, morphing them in perfectly in time. Queen's now joining the fray as well, and I've got a feeling that not a lot of drones will go down, although hold that thought, because the Hellions, they just simply drove over towards the third base location. Apparently, the Zerglings are a little bit out of position, and a couple drones may very well end up dying here. 5 drones get killed already. 3 Hellions, though, can obviously one-shot a worker, although with 2 Hellions left over, I don't think it's gonna be enough. 6 drones here in total, with now also a Liberator joining in. Great response time there by Serral, really not losing anything to this one. Liberator immediately gonna leave, and that should be the damage here for now. Alrighty. Now, losing 8 Hellions for, like, you know, 5-6 drones, is that worth it? In my opinion, no, not really, right? Because the thing is, right now, if you lose those Hellions, Serral's creep spread is gonna get out of control real fast. Once you lose those Hellions, you don't really have much of an option anymore to continue pressuring here. And this is actually a nice little scout as well for Serral. He knows, well, if you would have additional Hellions, right, you would show them to me right now. And that means that it's likely going to be a biological-based army. Because if you're going to be playing mech, you will continuously build additional Hellions right now. But if you don't send any more Hellions across the map, it's clear that you're going to be playing bio. Third command center, though, is going to fly over. We have another Liberator now joining the fray as well. We have double Evo chamber here somewhere. There they are, over at third base. But this is going to be the safe spot of Serral, right? This is going to be his comfort zone, and this is what he likes to play. It is going to be melee as well as carapace upgrades, and he can confirm so right now as well with that Overseer that it is indeed going to be a bio with tanks. Alright, let's have a look right here inside of the main base of INnoVation. So, he does indeed have the double upgrades going up really early on, and I like that a lot, right? If you compare the upgrades right here, I mean, +1/+1 for Zerg has just gotten started, and Terran is going to finish his significantly earlier. Now, normally, we don't really see a 1-1 timing attack necessarily. Normally, it's going to be more a timing attack that's focused around 2-2. But obviously, if INnoVation continues researching right now in these engineering bases, he's going to be able to finish up the 2-2 upgrades substantially before his opponent is really going to be able to get much done. Obviously, these Marines are going to try and see if they can get something done, but yeah, it's not going to happen. Queens just simply are going to shoo them away with relative ease. Now, on this map, it's very difficult for Terran to get much done. I mean, look at the creep spread, right? Losing those Hellions earlier, it just simply makes it very difficult to contain the creep and for this Terran army to continue pushing later on as well. Likewise, though, for Zerg, it's going to be difficult to really deny a third base. Because obviously with these high grounds over here, Terran can take them quite easily. And right now, look how far he has to actually stim forward as well to get some of those tumors. I think a lot of Terran players right now would be happy to stim over here and then try and clear out the creep over in this area. But no, INnoVation is going to have to deal with a ton of creep here in the earlier stages of the game. And actually, Zerglings are already ready to set up the surround too, to potentially not even let this medevac army leave. And there's still one Widowmine. Nice split over there. Yeah, no. He's going to try and get this around, but once again, as soon as the Marines pick up inside of those medevacs, a ton of tumors will go down, and the creep spread does continue. A couple of infestors, actually, already. That's interesting. Normally, we don't see infestors quite this early on. Maybe this is like a recent addition for INnoVation. Usually, we see players making the infestation pit at this time, going 2-2 upgrades, and then immediately up towards a hive. Adding in a couple of infestors obviously gonna slow down that hive. It's gonna slow down the 2-2 upgrades. It's also gonna slow down that Spire transition. But I guess it's gonna be a little bit safer against that 2-2 timing attack, because Serral probably knows at this point, okay, your upgrades are gonna be sooner than mine anyways. If you're gonna hit a timing attack, I'm never gonna be able to finish up the 2-2 upgrades anyway, so I guess it's gonna be fine, as long as I just get myself the appropriate amount of defenses out. Now, I like this. Small little Widowmine drop. There you go. That's the damage that we were looking for. Beautiful move here by INnoVation. Completely blindsiding Serral here with a very unorthodox timing. 14 drones end up going down, but the issue with dealing that amount of damage at like the 9-minute mark is that, well, those 14 drones can easily be replaced. Serral already going up towards the 5th hatchery right now as well, but INnoVation is doing a little bit of spring cleaning, and he really needs to. Oh, infestors. Not spotted just yet. Okay, now he does. Oh, massive fungal! Oh, beautiful. And you know what? I was talking about that 2-2 timing. Killing that clump of Marines right here basically already deflects the possibility here of a 2-2 timing. As Serral just absolutely smashed a small clump of that army. But I think that army that he just killed is big enough to deflect a 2-2 timing here entirely. Because, I mean, if you want to push right now, he's going to try at the very least. But if you want to push right now, it's going to be like significantly less, right? It's going to be significantly less units. Greater Spire already coming up as well. 2-2 upgrades significantly later here for Serral. But it looks like he's going to be in an okay spot here for the time being. Command Center secured here in the center position. It's a really important spot because this is like also your staging grounds to move across the map, right? This is a very safe location to fight, and right now you can also move over with another planetary fortress towards the 5th base location. And at that point, well, I don't think this SCV is going to get too much done. But at that point, once Terran has 5 base economy, obviously that's the moment at which they can produce anything. Oh my god. Whoa. Unlucky Marines right there. What is he gonna do with all of those banelings? Is he just gonna roll them into the planetary? Is Serral feeling that cocky here? I mean, I think it's like 19 banelings or so to kill a planetary fortress. How many banelings are there in total? There's 48. He's got a bunch of them at home, I'm sure. Yeah, there's a couple. But the majority of them are over here. This is probably about 40 banelings here. I don't know why he's got them. This is such an unorthodox place to morph them in as well. Oh my god. Overseer right there does confirm the thing is, right, if you roll those all into the base, the Terran counterattack is gonna be massive, right? I think maybe Serral is feeling confident that he can counter any kind of potential counterattack at that point with Brute Lords. Those couple of Infestors, worth their weight in gold though. Really nicely done. I'm not sure, he just morphed in so many of them, but there's really not that much happening over here. We'll see if he's gonna end up doing anything with those Links and Banes here in just a second. Terran army though, moving on all 3 attack paths on the map, right? We have the center, the top, and then also the bottom path. A lot of the creep is being cleared, but here we go. The banelings are ready to move forward. Okay. Yeah, he does reconsider. I think he wanted to go for a big engagement right there over at the planetary, but it's too much of an investment, right? I mean, say it's 20 banelings right there for one planetary fortress. A baneling is 25 minerals and 20... Or no, it's 50 minerals and 25 gas each. Really expensive, as a planetary fortress obviously is only... Well, I'm not gonna do math, but it's significantly cheaper than those Links and Banes. Alright. I like the idea of it, but yeah, it's not gonna be enough, because then the imminent counterattack of Terran would be absolutely terrifying. Alright, so it's gonna be a switch right now to watch Corruptors, and then, of course, those Brute Lords in just a little bit. We see Pathogen Glands coming up here for Serral. So it looks like we're going back to the good old Wings of Liberty days, where Brute Lord Infestor was the name of the game. Now, INnoVation, he does not want to play against that kind of army. I mean, generally speaking right now, and actually hold that thought a little bit. Looks like these Marauders and Marines are going to be able to get out. But generally speaking right now, the Infestor is considered to be a little bit too strong. Now, the Infestor is going to receive a nerf very soon, actually. I believe it's this week, with the new ladder season going live in just a couple of days. If you're watching this video shortly after after the video goes up on the YouTube channel, the nerf to the Infestor is going to go live very, very soon. Although I don't really know exactly if it's going to affect the Terran versus Zerg matchup all too much. But generally speaking right now, Terran versus Zerg in the late game, definitely favored by Zerg if the macro is correct, right? If you miss macro and miss micro for even a split second, the Zerg army can absolutely get rolled over as well, but that's kind of the thing. Serral is known to not really miss control, right? Serral is really, really good at basically every aspect of the game, and I think his late game is probably considered to be the best right now in the world for sure, right? Probably considered to be the best in the world, Lowko. Okay, that was a great sentence, but you get what I mean. There was a little bit of guessing over there in that sentence, but then also the fact that he was... that didn't make any sense. Anyways, you get what I mean. 4 matter effects right now, moving on the right-hand side. I think they're looking to maybe make their way towards the natural here. And interestingly enough, I don't see much of a response yet. There are a couple of overlords, however, in the dead space. Okay, so Serral is going to be able to get those units in here in time. And, well, big explosions. They are not going to achieve anything. Does he have any Corruptors left over? No, all of the Corruptors actually got morphed into those Brute Lords. The Queens from earlier now actually also just simply pulled away from hatcheries. Look at that. Serral actually stops injecting entirely. He doesn't care about injects anymore. Just simply pulled all of the Queens over here to the front, so you can use those to transfuse the Brute Lords whenever needed. And obviously also to continuously lay down that creep spread and then push forward those spore crawlers. What exactly is going to be the response right here for Terran? Well, apparently it's going to be 5 tactical nukes being produced here at once. That's pretty insane. We'll see how much he's going to be able to do with that. Because that is certainly going to be a very healthy amount of nukes that it's going to be able to throw out onto the map. You guys know I'm a big fan of late game Zerg versus Terran. It's phenomenal to watch. It's so difficult to execute, but we'll see what this is going to look like here in just a little bit. And there we go. The first nuke being activated. This one is going to go up just in the center of the map. Not really a location that you're very likely to scout, although Serral is known to be lethal when it comes to killing those ghosts. Once again, a fungal growth, shutting down some of the... Like, how do you stop this? Seriously, I'm looking at this from like a Terran point of view right now, right? I'm a Zerg player at heart, so sometimes I get a little bit biased in these kind of scenarios. But seriously, if you look at this from the Terran's point of view, Zerg has been expanding all over the map. You get money in the world for basically whatever army you like, but it seems like you're countered at every single move you make. I wouldn't even mind seeing like a second Spire right now for Serral, right? I mean, he's maxed out. I wouldn't mind seeing him go for all of the upgrades that he could ever get. He's already going for the +1 missile upgrade as well. I mean, that missile upgrade, obviously very nice for his Hydralisks and all that, but also for the infested Terrans, I suppose. The thing is, though, you're not really going to be able to stop this Zerg army very easily, and slowing down the Zerg economy at this point is also not going to be easy. Okay, once again, a nuke being activated here in the center of the map. Was that a nuke flying over? Whoa, look at the shadow. Whoa, did you see that? I've never actually seen the shadow of a nuke right there. I think that was the shadow of a nuke, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. I don't know what happened. Looks like the ghost over here got killed. The one over on the left-hand side, though, once again, in a seemingly random location. That one certainly is not, well, gonna do anything, right? It landed. There was 100 minerals and 100 gas gone. Now a couple of the ghosts are gone as well. These nukes certainly not really doing much. Looks like the Marines and the Marauders forced to pick up once again. And while he's continuously trying to nuke over in this location, once again, the shadow. Look at the shadow. I've never seen the okay, it disappeared once again over here. How does that make sense? Ooh, 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 ooh. That was close. That was real close. I've never noticed the shadow right there of the tactical nuke missile, but apparently it's a thing. I'm a little disappointed it disappears though, right? It would be so much more elegant if it just kept on going. Anyways, here we go. I guess once it reaches maximum height, that's when it starts disappearing on the map. Once again, another nuke right now. Look at the shadow. I've never noticed a shadow before, and now all of a sudden I see a couple of shadows flying across the map. That's awesome. Okay, finally this nuke right here will get something done, and it's gonna force the Zerg player back. Is there any more nukes available? Looks like there are. And that one is gonna land once again in the center of the map. The thing is, I think he may just have vision. Yeah. It's such a gamble, though. Ugh! You hear the sound? There's this sound that you hear when the nuke is about to land. If it lands, right, this whole Zerg army is gone, and that's what INnoVation is looking for. I don't think I've ever actually seen Serral take a nuke to the face with his whole army. How's this one infestor up here? How did that even get there? Man, one fungal growth on all of these ghosts? That's a very expensive army to lose. Anyways, INnoVation has been expanding all over the place though, right? He's got tons of orbital commands. He can start getting rid of some of his SCVs as well. There we go. Fungal growth going down on those ghosts. Banelings desperately trying to connect there. A couple of them do end up going down, but I think that was manageable here. Yeah, nice snipes as well. Shutting down those biological units with ease. And what seemed to be like a great fight there for Serral is certainly an engagement here that goes in favor of INnoVation. Yeah, so this is the bad... Oh my god, I hate this point whenever I play Zerg. There's this point in the game where Terran has so many orbital commands that they want to mine with mules rather than SCVs. He doesn't want to mine anymore right now with SCVs because they soak up some of that supply. This is the worst feeling if you're a Zerg player, man. The whole game, you've been trying to harass Terran, right? You've been trying to slow down their economy, and then you arrive at a point where they want to donate like 20 SCVs to you. Sometimes it happens as well in Zerg versus Protoss, where Protoss wants to switch to an all-air army and they get rid of their Marauders. Or not Marauders, sorry, their Immortals, so they just simply get rid of their Immortals entirely. Now, this is a big fight right over here. I like that one liberation zone. Oh, massive parasitic bombs right there. Great splitting, though, by INnoVation. Grabbing the two Vikings there that are in trouble, but the nuke is gonna land, and there's actually already a second follow-up nuke right now ready to go as well. These Spore Crawlers moving forward. He needs to find it, and there it is. Get it. Okay. That ghost will just barely get shut down, and that means that Serral is advancing further and further forward, getting closer and closer to this Terran Center staging ground. Now, Planetary Fortress over here on the right-hand side of the map, the top right-hand corner, will get shut down. There's going to be a lot more command centers, though. INnoVation right now also trying to secure this one. Basically, he's accepting the split map, right? He's like, okay, if you want to play split map versus split map, I will go ahead and just take as many bases as I possibly can. I will try and outmine you. Now, who's playing more cost efficiently so far? It's going to be that Zerg army, right? And that's where I feel like the Infestor primarily shines. Look at this. Look how far he's forward. Serral's going to be able to stay on creep here, meaning that these queens are going to be very helpful. I mean, I don't see them anywhere, but... Where are the queens, actually? Did that get picked off? Yeah, there's actually only 2 queens remaining. Okay. Never mind. But anyways, now he can also engage, obviously, with those queens and then the Spore Crawlers underneath. Very, very powerful. Engagement here on the left-hand side of the map. Just Marines, Marauders, and then a bunch of Medivacs are not going to be enough against this Zerg onslaught. Ghost now also joining in, but without splash damage, stopping the Zerg army over here is going to be tricky. Now, the Planetary Fortress, though, is going to finish up in just a little bit, and all INnoVation needs right now is a little bit of time. The Ghost, obviously, very nice in that regard here as well. I'm worried here for the center point, though, of the map, right? If the creep moves this far forward, what are you going to do about it? Like, he's literally abducting defensive liberators into Spore Crawler range. That is scary. Now, I guess at some point the missile turrets will also give the vision that you need to see those creep tumors. But, yeah, this is going to be a very scary game here for INnoVation to play out. I'd be scared right now if I was the Terran player, I can tell you that much. Ideally, though, we do see that massive switch right now towards Ghosts and then that all-out Terran army. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of those, maybe even battle cruisers added on here as well. Once again, a big engagement here on the left-hand side. The Planetary Fortress, though, picking up 12 kills already. And this was not a fight that went in favor here of the Zerg. I don't really see how INnoVation, though, is going to continue harassing Zerg here, right? He kind of needs to prevent these bases from mining. I guess he's okay with it because he knows that these bases are not taken, like the one in the bottom left-hand corner and the one in the top right-hand corner. And I guess if that's the case, he's going to be in an all-right spot here anyway. Once again, a nuke being activated here in the center of the map. Once again, the shadow, man. And then it disappears. Watch. It just stops and then it disappears. Is it going to land? That one will land. It's going to be able to get a little bit of work done, but I'd be surprised if Serral gets his entire army nuked. Once again, one brave command center pilot flying its structure over towards the center of the map. Or not the center of the map, rather, the top right-hand corner of the map. Oh, the infestors. Looking for a fungal there on those Vikings. We see the Liberator transition right now. I like this. Once he gets a sufficient amount of Liberators, though, I would love to see some battle cruisers added on as well. How many starports does he have? 3. Okay, that's a good amount. Once again, another nuke right now in the center. Spore Crawlers even moving towards the high ground. This is absurd. I've never actually seen creep spread this far out at this point in the game. Serral playing this extremely patiently. A couple of nukes, though, are going to go up. And that's going to be annoying because those tumors are going to be killed. We even see a Spore Crawler right now flying forward because he doesn't want it anymore. No reason to have those, or not the Spore Crawler, sorry, that Medivac being flown forward there because he doesn't need them anymore. But immediately, right, as soon as he gets rid of the creep, a lot more creep will take its place. Massive fungal growth, once again, trying to get something done. His Hydras alone, though, gonna be enough. Most of the Banelings and Zerglings were killed. A couple of Spore Crawlers here being a nuisance as well. Well, we have the Infestors on the high ground. Well, INnoVation, though, playing this out slowly but steadily as well, right? Not taking any unnecessary risks. I think a lot of Terra players at this point in the game would start getting quite a, you know, scared feeling, right? You get this pit in your stomach where you notice the Zerg is closing in on you. He's taking this slowly but steadily, right? Once again, a nuke. Trying to go up right here on top of that. Oh, God, he's got to get it, though. So close! But yeah, you see the Zerg army moving forward. Once again, another nuke. Where's this ghost? I don't even see the ghost. Oh, it's right underneath there. If one of those nukes lands, right, on all of the Zerg army, it's game over. We would see INnoVation immediately stimming forward and trying to clear out all of this army. Technically speaking, Serral obviously can remax basically whatever army he likes. I mean, he's got 17,000 resources in the bank. But I think if one big nuke would land on all of this right here, this is an army that takes a very long time to rebuild, right? You don't just get that all down immediately. I wonder what Serral would actually do. He'd probably try and reinforce with more of the same. That would be a massive time window, though, for INnoVation to stim forward and to try and kill as much as he possibly can. Serral, though, certainly respecting his opponent here. It must be tempting to try and just shove forward and try and launch those small waves of brootlings forward as well, but not really getting it just yet. There's the ghost. No, that's the ghost. Get it. You gotta get it if you want to get it. Okay. I guess if you don't get it, it's time to back up. Yep. Such a last-second pullback as well. Base over here in the top left-hand corner, though, should be able to land. Base in the top right-hand corner also landing. So you know what? One way you can come back, right? If you're in this scenario as Terran, is mining more than Zerg. Like, yeah, he's not getting the cost-efficient trades. He's losing more than the Zerg opponent. But if he's mining more, he's gonna be in a pretty good spot. If these two bases can be secured, and he basically takes an additional base over his opponent, he sort of steals that base that was supposed to be mined by his opponent in a mirrored scenario, he's gonna still be in a good spot, but he cannot take fungals like that. Woo! Those fungal growths hit! And there the nuke also finishes the job. My god. That nuke, I feel like the nukes actually have now done more damage to the Terran player than the other way around. Okay, one ghost finally making its way towards the left-hand side of the map. Well, I saw another one over here as well, but I think this hatchery is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Ooh, it looks like Serral actually wants to feel out if he can potentially finish the game right here, right now. A lot of nukes, though, continuously going up, and it's hard to see which of the ghosts is actually the one sending forward that tactical nuke. Base on the left-hand side got killed. Looks like the planetary fortress on the top right-hand corner also, at the very least, got denied, as the command center did fly backwards once more, too. Both players trying to micro several different angles at once, but while Serral tried to, like, finish the job here in the center, INnoVation held on and he just managed to kill a base of Zerg. Well, an eye for an eye, apparently, as Serral is now also trying to go after the command center, which apparently he didn't want to win or kill. I don't know. Yeah, just gonna burrow one Zergling and then one Hydra right there to try and finish the job as well. Okay, so the angle in the center not working out in favor of Serral, so apparently he's launching his assault here on the right-hand side of the map, the top lane. That's a lot of ghosts. I wonder, though, what's gonna happen to this planetary fortress, right? Because most of the ghost army right now is on the left-hand side of the map. Ooh, nice splits there. INnoVation losing a couple of the ghosts, but I think this is very manageable. Yeah, picking up some of the weakened units as well, trying to make the most of it. Still, I don't know if he's got enough launching power right there to continue fighting. Obviously, both players are microing two fights at once. Planetary Fortress over in this location did end up falling, and that's an important kill here for Serral. He wanted to see if he could potentially finish the job here in the center, but wasn't possible just yet. So apparently he's like, okay, you know what? I'll just try and see if I can bleed you dry instead. I feel like Serral was giving his opponent a lot of leeway in the top left-hand corner, or the top right-hand corner, and then also the bottom left-hand corner, but he's doing a much better job right now denying those bases. Now, this mineral patch right over here was the last one remaining for that base. I don't know if he really cares. Obviously the center map, or the center base right here, is also pretty critical. INnoVation has not been able to mine that one at any point. Not to be forgotten about, actually. Like, it's easy to forget about the center base because it's not a big one. It doesn't have that much, that many resources on it. But man, I feel like INnoVation is the one who's been on the back rope the entire game. Once again, a nuke making its way towards the center here. Oh, massive fungal growth. No Viper follow-up, sadly, here for Serral, although he's looking for it. There we go. Parasitic bomb on all of those Vikings. And that means most of them will get picked off. Once again, the shadow of the nuke. And it disappears. It halts for a second and then it disappears. How are both players microing all of this, man? That's insane. Alright, Serral apparently smashing about 8 buttons a second here on average for most of the game. Okay, I like this. This nuke is much nicer, right? Like, this is what you're looking for, but Serral really never allowed these ghosts to move out. It looks like he's finally gonna get a good detonation. 18 drones end up going down here in total. I think maybe some have been going down as well in another location. Now the ghost on the high ground right over here. Very, very nice. INnoVation on the back foot for a little while, but he's starting to get into a position right now where this is much better for him. Looks like the ghost will just barely be spotted there with its nuke, but it's not gonna be in time. A couple of the drones do end up falling here, and it looks like the base will be picked off as well. Now that Brute Lord Infesta army right now is in the center of the map. I mean, he's trying to kill a planetary fortress, but I think it's mostly about the positioning. If you get this base, you can move up towards the top right as well, much easier. Because there's not that many mineral patches remaining over in this location in the first place. Man, these Vikings are not doing anything. Beautiful dodge right there on the EMP as well. Serral, oh my god, did you see that? He did it a couple of times in a row. Dodging those EMPs like a champ. If the Infestors and then also those Vipers are out of energy, obviously the Terran army is going to have a much easier time. Still though, INnoVation got himself another base secured, and he's trying to make the best of this scenario right now. He knows there's not a lot of mining anymore for Zerg, but Zerg still has a massive bank. Fungal growth. He's looking for it. Good fungal growth right there, shutting down some of the retreating army, but it's not going to be enough right now to prevent this push from moving forward. At the same time, looks like a command center will fall right over here. Serral advancing slowly but steadily. Not overextending, not really giving his opponent too much wiggle room. Most of the bio army right now is running very low on hit points, and it looks like Serral's reinforcements should be enough here to clean this all up. This base right over here is the lifeline, man. Serral right now knows about it as well. He's got one Infestor over here. It does not have enough energy here for back-to-back fungal growths, so it's not going to be able to pick up all of those SCVs with just some fungals. So diligent as well, right, with defending that. Nicely done. Well, here we go. Maxed out Zerg upgrades. Couple of Banelings ready to connect as well with some of those SCVs. And that planetary fortress, while it is a very important one, it's gonna be picked up, and that means that Serral is once again gonna have that economic advantage. Neither player really mining that much, but the base in the top right-hand corner has now also been acquired by Serral. He put a couple of new drones right here on the base on the right-hand side too. Massive fungal growth once again, landing this time around on all of those ghosts. Those ghosts are extremely critical. They move forward, tried to get the EMP right there. Most of those Infestors right now are out of energy, but is there enough army right now left over for INnoVation to continue this assault? I don't think so, right? I mean, yeah, these Infestors, they're mostly just threatening right now, but there's just not a counter right now here, right? Like, what is he gonna do? What are you gonna do against these Brute Lords? Maybe get a couple Marines underneath. I mean, if there's no fungal growths available, it's really scary. Apparently the name here, or the name of the game, the answer here is gonna be Infested Terrans, but man, I've got a feeling that was mostly Serral just winning for the last half hour, right? I mean, maybe not for the last half hour, but ever since those first couple of Hellions got picked off, it feels like Serral was the one holding the reins, right? He was the one in charge, and he was the one leading this game down the path that he wanted it to. Yeah, there were a couple of moments where INnoVation was mining the top the top right-hand corner and also the bottom left, but other than that, I feel like Serral was the one dominating this game from pretty much the start to the finish. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. A special shout out to the Patreon supporters. Thank you very much for your generosity. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I will see you once again in the next one.